Good to have you again on the program today, and as always, it's the economy today. We believe that as you join us, you will see certain things that will help make the economy around you better than as it had been before you came on. Okechukwu Onubogu here, and good to have you there, as I would always say. And I have a guest today, but before we go to talk about our guest or introduce our guest, we'll take the first steps first. We'll go to the stock exchange, stock market, to find out what has happened there. And after that, we'll also take our news beats. Then we'll return to face these ones here. And in the Nigeria Stock Exchange, all shares index we had that just ended Friday, we had 97,606.43. And the gain is 0.13%, while the value traded is 5.6 billion, and the volume is 204.6 million naira. That's what it was. Then the market capital still in naira, 56 trillion. So the volume is just that, but not in naira. But then the market capital is in naira. Well, let's take the next one, which is the stock top gainers. But we have Mercure as gaining 8.42. We also have Fitson as gaining 7.62%. We do have PZ as gaining 2.54%. And we also have GTCO as gaining 2.14%. And going further, there are the stock top decliners, apart from the stock top gainers. And the top decliners, we have DCAP declining minus 11, that is declining 11.03%. And we also have DTAH Communication declining 10.53%. NEM had 10.76%, and the Tantalizer had a 10% decline. These are the positions of the decliners today. And at the oil market, we also have something that is there. On the oil market, WTI crude, West Texas Intermediate crude, has 1.30% decline, while Brent crude, but of course the money is $74.58, $74.58 per barrel. Then the decline is 1.30%, while Brent crude has 78.11, that is $78.11, and the decline was 1.18. We also have Murban crude that has 77.90, that is $77.90, and per barrel, with then a deficit of 1.17%, while Bonny Light C remains at $78.62, $78.62 cents, 2.84% decline. That's what we have in the oil market. We would also continue to share some of these things because I have a bit of what I need to also get you to know, that the crude oil price closed with a weekly gain of 1.6%, as we tried to talk about a bit of it there this morning, and with 79.31 barrels per day. supported by the Middle East geopolitical tension following a possible attack on Iranian oil facilities and its resulting impact on supply constraints. On the domestic scene, there was a 0.2% week-in-week accretion in the foreign reserves to $38.7 billion as of October 10th, 2024. And across the FX market segments last week, the Naira waned compared to the previous week at the NAFEM window, although activity level increased 1.9% week in week and $22.9 million to $1.2 billion. The price currency, that is talking about Naira now, it fell 0.6% against the base currency dollar and to 1,641 Naira 27 kobo per dollar. Likewise, in the parallel market segment, the CBN fiat paired 1.2% week in week against the greenback to trade at 41,685 per dollar. In the week ahead, dealers anticipate, that's the week we have come into, dealers anticipate that the Naira to trade within a similar band across FX segments all over. And we believe that something different will come forth. But let's keep going, looking at the economy the way it is, especially these days, that the Nigerian economy has a lot to do with what happens in the fuel pricing, how it has affected the economy. Incidentally, that happens to be the topic that we use today on the program. And our topic is the price of the petroleum pricing and that of gas, the way it is coming. So we will discuss that, and the person with whom I will discuss this topic that I've just mentioned, which I expect to see here, will be a guest of mine that is a friend and a brother who has always been here, able to help put things in order. And the guest we have is Sampraise, Itomo. He is someone that has the interest of the nation at heart, and the things that have to do with the well-being of all matters to him a whole lot. That's why in most cases we have him here, because I know what he has done and how he can still affect the things that are happening around him. So it's good to have you, Sampraise, on the program today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The topic is galloping cost of petrol and gas. Then we're saying danger looms. I don't know. Galloping cost of petrol and gas. You see that. What? I just want to say that, okay, we will now have to go again and as I just mentioned, what we talk about. But then before this, because I was just carried away with the topic, and for us to hit it and
just hit the ground running.
Yes, but before we do this, let's take our news bits, of course. And Divine Okechukwu, please give us what you have for us. Thank you so much, Divine. That is a beautiful one, and I'm talking about the things that have to do with the price of petrol and the price of gas, particularly the cooking gas, the LPG. We also, that is liquefied petroleum gas. We also, before then, talked about something else, that is what has to do with NEMA, partnering with youth organizations and universities on disaster risk management. It's important that that happens, because when the young people everywhere, youth organizations and even the institutions of learning, higher learning, would also be prepared for this, then it will go a long way in helping to ensure that when such a thing is about to happen, people would see the indicators and cry out against it, and some action would hopefully be taken so as to help reduce whatever impact it would have had or made on the people and on the society as a whole. Okay, and for the gas, it's a serious thing. It's a serious matter today that we are talking about this, and the jumping price, the galloping price. That's what we have as a topic again. The galloping price of fuel and or petrol and gas. So we'll just look at it and find out exactly how we'll handle this. We have been told about deregulation. That is, in actual fact, the main reason for saying that subsidy must go. But when we had such a thing some years back under the Obasanjo administration, it had to do with the phone system and all that. We had the landlines everywhere, and the troubles and the problems associated with having landlines and having NITEL everywhere. The way the one that used to be NEPA, this is now Power Holdings. I don't know what the name it has now. Is doing something. That's the way NITEL. Some people that are very young may not even know about NITEL because that happened. This thing we're talking about started in 1999. So people who were quite young then wouldn't understand or not born. But now, excuse me, this day we see and find out that it's easy to make calls everywhere and even all over the world. That the world has become a village kind of, because of the fact that with the phone you can reach anyone at any point in time. Thanks to that administration that helped us with that. In the same vein, this current administration has come in to knock off subsidy so that everyone in Nigeria would enjoy the dividend that will come from the fact that the money that has been used for subsidy will be transferred into other things, injected into other sectors, so that there will be a lift in every sector of the economy. But the question is it happening right now? That's the question we need to ask. Is it happening right now? If money, a lot of money has been invested or injected into the other sectors of the economy, why have we not started seeing the impact on the society? For right now, the impact has been negative all through. We are yet to see that positive impact that has been talked about and preached and how do I say it? Any word again I will use. We are yet to see it happen. So the fact that we are yet to see it is why we are talking, because today the cost of petrol and the cost of gas has gone far beyond the reach of the ordinary person. And if the money that was got out of these things has been transferred or put into other sectors, at least these things would have helped people to feel better. Like talking about the fact that we needed to have had the CNG vehicles already running before the removal of the subsidy. But it didn't happen. But then a year and 2 months after the removal of all that, we are still where we were, because we are yet to see any of such vehicles. I don't know whoever has seen. I don't know whether Sampraise, Itomo has seen. I don't know whether anybody else has seen, but I have not seen anyone on the road, other than the ones we see in the papers, of the newspapers, and the ones we see on television. We've not seen them in real life. So these are the things that are causing the problem that we have today. So Sam, welcome to the program one more time.
Thank you.
And let's see what you have to say about this.
When you have a bunch of scammers that are, promising the buoyancy of their pocket while soothsaying around. So like I said, during one of our talks the other day, you were, anticipating improvement immediately after the protests that was short-lived by intimidation and what have you. So I told you, I said, some of those speeches they come up to make is just like mockery of the commoners in the society. When you have leaders who have no regard, no even fear of God, how do you think they will love the people that they are supposed to guide or rule? So look at this kind of bizarre increase of fuel on a daily basis. It's very annoying, sir. It's very annoying, aggravating the high cost of living. Like what I said that day, if you are telling us that minimum wage is 70,000, and then okay, look at the liquefied petroleum, the cooking gas now 1,500. How much will this civil servant earn to enable them cook? Because before now, we resorted to the cooking gas as against the kerosene that was the cheapest for everyone. So now, instantly kerosene started, skyrocketing. Everybody now reneged to this, liquefied petroleum. That is now the point and kill again. So when you have the oil sector, you have the fuel, you have diesel, you have cooking gas, you have kerosene, and a plethora of other products from that oil sector alone. Why are we really, facing so much difficulty, so much pains, as if it's like the whole government of Nigeria only have fuel? So again, okay, I want to make reference to the past, because sometimes when history is not regurgitated, we seem to be blaming ourselves unnecessarily. What is happening today is deliberate act from our leaders, deliberate, because one of those reasons while Murtala Mohammed, toppled the government of General Gowon, and actually he started making some positive steps after that incident when Gowon was in exile. He came up with the diversification program from oil to agriculture to the industrial sector and to other sectors of the economy, and through the inequality reduced. Agriculture was given attention to, industrialization stepped in, and look at the government of Murtala didn't succeed even up to 1 year, and he was killed.
Just 3 months.
You understand? He was killed, and all those wonderful program was destroyed. It was Murtala that was the first to go into campaign against corruption, corrupt leaders, because of the officers that were paraded by Gowon's government. So the oil sector was like everything. Of course, then things were working. Things were working. So since that time till today, it has been oil, 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 oil. Where we have, like I said, we have vast land in the entire state of Bauchi, check Plateau State, check Nasarawa State, check most of the northern states, vast land, unoccupied, uninhabited, for agriculture and other industrialization programs. And what are we hitting on this oil of a thing day and night? Because, like I said, it's a deliberate act to truncate the joy and the happiness on the street of Nigeria. And I normally say also that sometimes I speak from the political aspect, economic aspect, but I also speak from the spiritual aspect. It will soon be over. It will soon be over, sir. Okay.
In pursuit of appropriate pricing of the PMS that is in the country, the government has rationalized that petrol prices remain high despite the local manufacturing of it, and that is as a result of the global problem, global market forces, and that's why the price is that. So it's not just only in Nigeria. Until they get that of the NNPC Limited in Port Harcourt, currently, which they've been telling us to come on soon, currently undergoing final testing of completely and partially rehabilitated
postponement.
You see, they say that until that one comes, the cost of fuel, of crude oil and other production factors remain aligned with the global benchmarks, you know. And then in addition, removing subsidies means that the prices Nigerians pay at the pump reflect the actual cost of refining, logistics, and distribution. This shift ensures long-term sustainability for the sector after decades of inefficiency and subsidy abuse. Now, this subsidy abuse, people are now saying, if the subsidy that has been abused all these years has been working, that our people have been able to receive and take things and enjoy their lives, rather than create this new thing you're creating that you want it to be completely removed, so that the few, because they say that it's only a few that have been enjoying as a result of this. But this time, that when it is removed, everybody will enjoy. But you see that everybody is in trouble, apart from that same few that was enjoying then. And people are saying, if this is what will happen, why not return it? Let it be there. Let the few be enjoying, so that we can even breathe. Because this time, it's a serious matter that the cost of fuel, the pump price has gone, at least in Abuja, to more than 1,000 naira everywhere. And so as a result, people to move about, not just going to work, but then going to other places, is difficult. Yesterday, I looked out on the road. I was on the road, not just looked out. I saw very few vehicles. I know it's as a result of this. And even this morning, all the areas where you used to have maybe one form of traffic jam or the other, nothing like that around. It's as a result of this. They say, at least this administration has said that the pain will last for a while, but that the gain will surpass the pain. And I say this, is it not when someone is alive that he will have the gain as a result, the gain that comes from the pain? If the pain kills, then how can the person see the gain afterwards? Or are we trying to do the sort of thing that we've been hearing, that though it's not been completely proven, that Bill Gates and some other people have been trying to use one thing or the other to eliminate the Africans? So are we now, is the government now trying to use these petroleum, whatever that's going on, to reduce the population of Nigerians? Because so many people are dying as a result of this. So many people are dying as a result of this.
If I may come in, yesterday my fuel tank was on red. I went to, I wanted to prove a point. I didn't buy from the filling station along Gwarimpa Kuba Road. I went to the one in front of Transcorp Hilton. I bought there. And I bought fuel for 20,000. That's supposed to be 19 liters, thereabout. You know. So I noticed that my fuel tank is still on red. Yes.
And you know that red is when it goes to about 10 liters.
That is reserved now.
Or even 5, yes. Or 5. That it starts going down. So that
I am suspecting what you are even seeing on the meter there is different from what is entering the tank.
Exactly.
That's number one, sir. My major objection on any government speech that I don't know, I don't even have respect for them anymore. I mean it.
No, please, we just have to manage.
No, the issue is this, sir. Before you are removing subsidy, what was the alternative made on ground, or what was the alternative plan? Sir, somebody is hungry and he has a plate of food at hand, and you are telling him, I'm taking this plate of food from you and I want you to wait indefinitely. That is the meaning of subsidy, sir. We are managing with this, and then you just came up and you remove what you are managing, promising us eternity of vanity. And it's rhetoric and repetitive and on and on and on. Now, I don't want us to be distracted by blaming OPEC, Pengasin, all these global oil regulatory bodies. Sir, most of Nigeria is a big player in the oil industry because we are 6. You know, in terms of oil reserve in our country. When Libya was doing well during the government of Gaddafi, the country citizens were enjoying. Things were happening. Even Nigerians living in Libya were owning properties, were doing very well. In fact, having house help and drivers, just outsiders, expats living there. I have testimonies of that. So if those countries that are in line with this regulation, they have a lot of subsidies for their citizens, a lot of benefits for their citizens, a wonderful economic programs going on there. Nigeria is not just the only country in that alignment. So we cannot use a global oil regulatory bodies as excuse, as an whatever we are calling it, why Nigerians are suffering. The suffering in Nigeria is deliberate by the leaders of Nigeria, because they sabotage 4 refineries, sabotage everything working there, lock it down, told us stories. How many years now of this political dispensation, not one refinery is working? Then every day now they are telling us Port Harcourt refinery, Delta State refinery, all those things are stories. We are tired of this. We are just tired of this.
I agree with you, really, but then there's something I want to say. You see, there's one thing that also is important. If not for the kind of country that we belong to or that we are in, it would have been good to do a kind of probing to find out where all the money that has been paid over the years for these term, that is turnaround maintenance of the refinery,
of the existing one, not talk of even building a new one.
Because every year
subsidy within 1 month, sir. Subsidy within 1 month can build 1 new refinery. Subsidy within 1 month alone.
Yes, you see, but we find out that over the years, for many years, nothing like, for many years, it's been going on. It's been in the budget and all that, and some money will be earmarked for turnaround maintenance. At the end of the day, nothing is turned around, nothing is maintained, and nobody is held responsible for the spending or expenditure made concerning that money. It just goes that way. This is one country where people can do whatever they like and go scot-free, and that's why others are encouraged to start doing the same negative thing, because the ones that have done it earlier are not in any shape or form being disturbed by the government. You see someone, and because he's in authority, he is in power, he's got this means of getting this money from wherever under the government. You see that fellow go and get what do you call it, an estate, a housing estate, and he will build about 200 or 300 houses in the estate, and within just 3-4 years this thing is concluded. And up to today, the estate will be there, people are entering and coming out, he's making his money. Nobody is asking. Someone else, because he was in government, he goes abroad, dumps a lot of our money in foreign banks, and nobody's talking about it, because that's the money that you would have used to do one thing or the other in government. Though there's something I've been hearing, and the Minister for Women Affairs has said something about having some vanguard or something like that, people who will now begin to check all these things everywhere. We just need to pray. We just need to work harder to ensure that even when that one comes online, let the people who are to do it be able to do the work they are supposed to do. Because after all, we have had the National Assembly, and they've been talking about the oversight.
Sir, when you are talking about probe,
what have they done when this turnaround maintenance money has not been made use of all these years?
When you are talking about probing corrupt practices among government functionaries, remember a vivid example that just a recent past, when the highest corrupt class of government Nigeria has ever seen during Buhari, and Buhari was always making speeches like the mess I met here by PDP, the mess Goodluck left here, and for the first 2 years, 3 years, in fact 4 years finished, he was still referring to the mess PDP left behind. And Meanwhile, he was even the one perpetuating the highest order of corruption. Look at the speech of Oshomole. He said, come to APC and you become a saint. All your sins are forgiven. So what are we talking about probing functionaries? When the vanguards of the corruption is the arrowheads, they are the very ones making all this appointment. And what you and I don't know is that the elixir of corruption is being celebrated by these caucus, these party leaders that are ruling. That is their policy. They are just being, so they now send a good talker to come and make speeches that looks like, very soon, just like, scammers now. They tell you as soon as you bring 50,000, we do like this, you get 50 million. So when you now bring the 50,000, they do something, they say, it remains just 20,000. We would have done this and done that. So in the next 5 minutes, if they say that you are anxious to bring out the money, and so they are making you with soothsaying and making you until when they know you can't afford 1 naira again, then their lines or their presence is already a spirit. So that is exactly the game these guys are playing on our intelligence. We need as Nigerians to come to one program of knowing that this is where we are. We have been captured by by one chance. We have been captured by corrupt leaders, and we need to accept it so that we stop celebrating this nonsense and begin to chart a plan. We have to chart a plan on how to come out of this game, this darkness. It's annoying, sir. Well, we're even the one excusing for them, explaining away our lives.
Yes, yes, I would.
What is the future of our schools? Because many parents can't send their children to school anymore. Are we talking about the road that is being vacant as if we are inside war? What are we talking about? We can't afford our daily livings. Is it inside grave that we are now going to save for our country? We must come to terms that these men are scamming us. This is even what we call this kidnapping going on. We have been kidnapped.
The experts have said that there may be temporary pain, but that on the long run,
temporary pain went between 1 year now. How many people have lost their lives?
Yes, but there'll be
go to the hospital and see. People cannot afford medical facilities.
I'm seeing it as maybe part of that temporary thing, because he said that there are long-term gains, which includes job creation, improvement of infrastructure, and reduced smuggling. You talked about something like that, and that it will benefit the entire economy if it is properly harnessed and engaged or managed.
That is comedy now.
Yeah, but then what they're saying is there could be, if you like, use the word palliatives, though we are really, I don't quite like us using palliatives because it looks like
it's charity case. If you are using palliative, you are talking about charity in my own country. I'm regarded as a refugee.
Yes,
that's the meaning of charity. That's the meaning of palliatives.
And so we are turning the country into a refugee camp, and all that. Well, as much as I agree with you that since of course you are pained in this matter, like many of us are, but we need to still give them some time.
Do we have choice?
And the benefit,
unless the Lord our God intervene.
And then what we also need to say,
you come out to protest, they use gun on you. The money you are using to acquire those guns and empower your military, all the kinds of military vans on the road, can't we use to ameliorate the situation?
That's another one, definitely, because there are many things that money can do. And considering the level of poverty of our people, you see that's why our elections have not been free and fair all the while, because knowing that the people have been so highly impoverished, you now send quarter bag, no, not quarter bag, but 10 kg, 5 kg bags of rice. 5 kg bags of rice. Is that a full bag is 50 kg.
Where did they even send that one in the first place? You saw it physically?
Yes, of course. 5 kg bags. They will package it and give to the voters.
During election.
Yes, so as to enable them be happy and decide to vote. Tell me what 5 kg
that is mockery
for one person, not to talk of for a family of 4 or 5 or 6.
Why they are looting billions? You are giving people.
Then you give 5,000 naira or even 10,000 to the person that you gave 5 kg bag or 10 kg at most bag of rice, and there is so much noise everywhere. Oh, he has blessed us. He has given us. I need to encourage the people that also collect these things to understand that as you do this, you're mortgaging, of course, your conscience.
You have reduced yourself to...
Because that way there is nothing you can say to them, because after all, they have paid you. So let's be careful of all these things, with all these things, and know how to handle them. One more time, I pray and I wish and that our people will look seriously into the things that have to do with electioneering. You know, when people vote, let it be the real vote of people that will count, not just the one someone buys, because of the fact that there is so much vote buying in the country. If you are poor, reject that money so that you can get people that can come into office to help you get things better for your country. This is just the word. But when we keep selling our votes for peanuts, you know, a mudu of gari, you know, that kind of thing, one small sachet of...
you know, if you want to catch your goat in those days...
Of this thing, what do you call it now?
If you want to catch goat and chicken, you just pour grains, they gather, then you just harvest them and slaughter. That's what they are doing to Nigerians. You just tell them, when I can't take one guy a mudu of gari, then you begin to... you know, whip them after you have entered office.
And then you get one...
God will surely punish wickedness in this country.
One wrap of spices mixed with they mix all the spices, then give to somebody. Tell me what the people can do with this.
Okay, reduce those...
so these are the things
that... You're making me to laugh.
Yes, these are the things we need to eliminate so as to help. Let these... Look, some people may even find food items right now, but will not be able to cook unless they revert to the old system that we have been asked to jettison. That's talking about going back to using the firewood, not even coal, because it's expensive to have coal these days, but just the firewood.
Coal is very expensive.
Yes, to use the firewood to cook. And of course, this can lead to so many disasters, health disasters, environmental pollution, and so on and so forth.
And things like
that. May the government really facilitate. And what word do I use again to speed up the process of these things that should come in, like the CNG vehicles, like see what they can do for this gas. We are told that we are a major gas producer, but do you know that they are importing gas today in this country? And that's why one of the reasons for which the cost is getting this high. I hope that something will be done fast about this, so that the common man can find what to eat. Not that you have food items, but you don't have the gas to cook. Of course, there is kerosene nowhere again in the country.
If not deliberate, like I keep telling you.
There is no kerosene anywhere.
Sir, I wouldn't have blamed anything on the Nigerian leaders if to say we are the one importing crude oil. But this is what God gave us free of charge, in abundance. Then you deliberately want to export it to have money, and then you now import it again to have money, and then you still have the price for the commoners that cannot afford all those luxuries. It is barbaric, sir.
And eventually, now that we are not doing naira for crude or crude for naira, anyhow you call it, it is even not getting better. And I have said it before, that is not getting better because of the fact that the government is paying for the crude that had been exported ahead of the time it was supposed to be exported, because there's a quantity you should export each year, you know. But they have gone even to sell the crude that will be sold in the next 5
years.
Yes.
Which 5 years?
10,
in 50 years.
So that
do you know the secret deals going on in our country? Mining of gold, oil, and what have you in Nigeria as we speak, from the back door.
It's difficult.
All registered for.
Yes, it's difficult for the government to even do things that
then borrowing again
promised to do. It's just like when the way you mentioned this one, you mentioned about what do you call it, gold and all these solid minerals. It keeps happening. People have been collecting our solid minerals without bringing in anything, and these are the things causing problem. May the government look into all these things, and whoever that is given money, like to handle things in this country, may such persons be followed up. It's not this kind of oversight, something we've been hearing from the National Assembly, but we're not seeing it work. We want the one that will work, so that if you say you gave 500 million to me for something, please follow me up. let me give account of what I did with the 500 million. Not just let me be so that I can go wherever I like, do globetrotting,
go to court
and return.
That's what they're telling Nigerians.
And build estates all over the country, and go and take, as I'm an Igbo man,
as soon as Tinubu increase the fuel price to 1,003, a flight outside Nigeria, go to court if you are not happy. And now they've increased cooking gas again. If you are not happy, go to court.
And people that
they don't know there is somebody above that court.
Well,
there is somebody above Aso Rock. When there is no fear of God, God himself will answer them.
So we want to encourage the people. From all our discussion, we want to encourage the people to go on to believe there is still a future for this nation, Nigeria.
Amen. No, that's my.
There is still a hope for this nation, Nigeria. I'm not talking about the renewed hope, because I'm yet to see result in the renewed hope. But then there is still hope.
There is hope
we have in this nation.
Because our God is alive.
Yes, and as we work, there are always things that was why Babangida, when he was a IBB, the great man, when he was the president of Nigeria, military president, he said that he still baffled him how our money moves, and after everything we still have some more. Because he was thinking when he came in that there won't be any money seen anywhere again. But there was still much, of course, which he utilized effectively to do great things for this country. I wouldn't forget that, because if you start mentioning the things that IBB's administration did in Nigeria, you will marvel. So, I pray that God will even bless him the more. You see, all these, let people.
They used canoe in those days in Lagos, but IBB built Itomo Land Bridge.
Yeah.
All these 505 you were hearing, because IBB. Many things.
So we need to do a lot, and I pray that the people who are in authority will make effort to do things that will make the people remember them for the rest of their lives. Because I still remember IBB, I still remember Obasanjo.
With 3,000 you can buy car.
Yes. So these are the things we need to remember. If we do not get things done, people may remember you for evil, not for good. May our leaders remember for good always. Galloping costs of petrol and gas, please, let something be done fast to bring it down. Let the poor breathe. Please, Sampraise, Itomo.
Sir.
Let's hear your last words.
Yes, I want to address my fellow Nigerians who are being beaten by these foreign snakes right in our country. I want to assure you that so far we were able to survive the government of Buhari. We are going to survive this one as well. Our God will keep us alive. This one is a phase. There is also what I call Nigeria in prophecy. The prophecy says that after the worst of darkness hit Nigeria, there is going to be a sudden turnaround, a sudden intervention. Nigeria, in fact, sir, we were in the birthday celebration of General Gowon, and General Gowon, in his advice for Nigerian youth, he said, when you see that your leaders are not thinking of you, go into self-development, go into something, develop yourself, build up yourself. Don't think of Japa syndrome. It's going to help you. There are a lot of Nigerians abroad begging to come back. They sold their houses, sold their car, thinking, I can't see this mess again. They are now in foreign countries, but like refugees, being hunted to be killed. When they see you coming to, for instance, some state in US, and the Nigerians, they see you come around, they say, so far you can fly into US, it means you are buoyant. They begin to beg you, for something. Even your shirt, they are hungry for these things. So Japa is not the solution. The solution is we have prayer. Look at what General Gowon said. He said what he couldn't do with uniform, he's not doing on his knees when he inaugurated Nigerian praise. So he advocates for us to pray. Don't be tired of praying. When you pray, it's not happening. Elijah prayed again 7 times before rain come. So Christians, Muslims, all Nigerians, we believe we are so religious, we are known. Then another lady that came in from US for that same birthday, she said that some people in US, the Hollywood, because she's actress. Yes, so the Hollywood industry, the stars there told her, as you are going to Nigeria, remind Nigerians that they are the ones prophecy said will cover us with glory this end time, that we are proud of Nigeria. No matter what is happening in Nigeria, let the Nigerian people not destroy your faith, because God is still going to answer that prophecy, and Nigeria is going to bring the glory of the whole world. There is hope for us after this dark tunnel. God bless you.
Much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sampraise Itomo. Thank you for being here for us today. That is why in what I mentioned about you when I wrote something that has to do with you, it wasn't just the ordinary write-up that was mentioned. It is a general interest advocate. That is the interest of the masses. Well, that is how we'll round off our stay with you today on the program. May the best happen to us is what I always want to say.
Amen.
That is my hope.
Yes.
And let me say special thanks to him again, my guest, Sampraise. Then let me also say special thanks to Divine Okechukwu. Let me say special thanks to Victor Adeyeye, and to Victor Chize. I wouldn't forget to say thank you for all that has happened and all you have done. I need to thank, not Emmanuel this time, and I'm talking about Emmanuel Solomon. Yes, thank you so much for helping us. And to all of you in the Master Control Room, I thank you, Divine Dabrilaya, Bright Chukwebue, and Ihanyi Ugoji. Thank you so much. May the very best happen to all of us. Okechukwu Onubogu here saying the best for you.